Privyet and welcome back, my friends, to Everlasting Summer. So this will probably be at least one of the last episodes of the Ulyana route. I'm really eager to see what happens. I mean, Semyon was a real asshole in this version of the game, but the story itself got me hooked, so let's see how it all turns out. I brought a video cassette from home. Eyes flashed conspiratorially, and I couldn't even remember when the last time I had watched or heard something recorded on cassette was. For me it's a few months. I have quite a few wrestling tapes, actually. I mean, these days you probably find all of that on the internet, but, you know, I have them anyway. Screw you. With a cool movie on it. Where would we get a VCR here? This word came to me from the past, and I decided to test whether my guesses about which time period I had been placed in were right. Semyon, you are like 24 or even older, if I remember correctly. So, you are way older than me, therefore you probably know very well a cassette recorder. You're an asshole. At the Cybernetics Club, of course. There's nothing there, I said confidently. What about in the back room? She was right. It could be there. Well, maybe. But anyway, it's too late and everything is closed. The strange feeling of guilt I felt in front of Ulyana wasn't giving me a chance to refuse immediately. We can get in there through the window, she grinned mischievously. Well, you know... Maybe you're right. Wish we could get a key, mused Ulyana. But I had one. In my pocket. And I just remembered about it. Now that you mention it, yes, I've got a key. Next time I'd better think before I speak. That's good. Then I quickly run to get the tape. You wait here and I'll be right back. I thought this would be the final decision. But I guess the game creators want me to make a more difficult final decision. She disappeared before I even could open my mouth. It's strange that she wasn't surprised that the key to the Cybernetics Club mysteriously happened to be in my pocket at the right place and time. But in any case, I have to decide what to do next. The most right and logical thing would be to not go anywhere with her. But my guilt got to me. Though it seems to me that there could be nothing criminal in watching a movie with her. True that. But on the other hand, with Ulyana even the most harmless things can turn into a three-ring circus. At the very least. I was already starting to forget about what happened this evening. About my frantic attempts to get the truth from Elisa and Olga. In just a couple of minutes she returned. Having second thoughts? I looked at Ulyana and felt a bit uncomfortable. Are we going? Listen, you know, your ideas are, let's say, not entirely safe. And in the end, everything will end badly again. Are you scared? No, I'm not. I'm just a grown man. I'm not interested in such games. Grown man? She laughed. Or maybe it's about showing him that he's a douche. What makes you think so? It's really hard to accept. I had nothing to say to that. Thinking about it, the whole time I spent here I did not display any particular forethought, nor life experience, no cold, balanced assessment of the situation. Though the other question is, did I ever show those in that life? And in fact, even if I think, I would recall some examples, of course, but... Okay, let's go. I was so offended by Ulyana's words that I asked, and what is a grown man in your opinion? One who is responsible for his actions. One who does not do anything without thinking about the consequences. A person who is capable of taking good care not only of himself, but also of others. So it's about him growing up. Cool. And all that doesn't describe you, that's for sure. I tried to laugh it off. I'm not pretending to be like that anyway, grinned Ulyana. Yeah. She was absolutely right. I do not possess any of those qualities. But I always thought that not being 17 is all that is required. It seems that, in general, there is no difference between me and the other people, and if I wish I could be exactly like they are. Is that all wrong? In fact, no, because in this camp I try to behave in a most logical, sensible, and proper way, like an adult. But if even Ulyana says differently, then how can I get out of here? We went in, and it took some time for Uljana to find the light switch. Presto! Well done, bravo. I exaggeratedly clapped my hands. Hey, stop making fun of me, she pouted. Okay, what's next? Here. Uljana went up to the door to the second room, hesitated for a moment, and pushed it open. There wasn't much space inside. Seems more like this room was used for storage. Boxes piled on top of each other had formed some sort of Alps in miniature. Various devices scattered here and there reminded me of the chaotic brainstorm raging in the head of a scientist. Bookshelves on the far wall made it clear that this was not a simple storage for unused junk. To my right there was a TV with a video player sitting next to it. Interestingly, they were not Soviet. I'd bet they were Japanese. At least going by their appearance. Excuse me. Sorry. Not very surprising in those days. Or more accurately, for me, these days, imports already existed. Maybe. I don't know, to be honest. What did I tell you? Uljana smiled triumphantly. I don't think, though, that Japan and the Soviet Union had the same region code. Oh well. Yeah. Have you seen anything like that before? I have. Perhaps I've got a VCR too. Probably it's lying somewhere on the mezzanine in my house. Seems like you're not surprised at all. Why should I be surprised? A Japanese TV set, a video player. You look like you often see such things. Not too often lately, I agreed lazily. You are so gloomy. Nevertheless, okay, take it. She handed me a cassette. I turned it over in my hands, but did not find any sticker or labels on it. So what's on it? I don't know exactly. If it is a porn, I swear. Mused Uljana. But I'm sure it's something very interesting, Owen. Hallelujah. It's no porn. At this point, I mean... On the other hand, they weren't too dirty with her. I have to say they handled that very well. Except for the one scene with... For the rape scene, that was pretty stupid, and for the Alisa scene, that was also pretty stupid, but okay. Soon the logo of a well-known American film company appeared on the screen. Here, watch! Uljana even started fidgeting impatiently. I'm watching. A few minutes later I realized that the tale contained a famous film from the 80s. It was about a robot from the future, sent to kill someone in the past, so in the years between a hero wouldn't be born. I mean, I could try to make an Arnold impression, but first of all, I can't do the voice really good, and his Austrian accent. I mean, an Austrian accent is basically the same as a German accent, but Jesus, it's so thick. It's amazingly thick. You could say I was sent from the future too. So what, my mission is to kill someone from among the local residents? I could not help laughing. What's so funny? Uljana looked at me reproachfully. Oh no, nothing. Seems as if you don't like the movie. The movie's alright. I've seen it several times. How can that be? Her eyes widened in surprise. Well, my friend gave me a cassette. Uljana stared intently at me. Anyway, keep watching. I pointed at the screen. When the film was about halfway through, I heard someone trying to open the front door. It is said that when a person has one of their senses weakened, the others are amplified. I was quite blind, but could hear perfectly. Lights off, I whispered. What? Turn off the lights. Uljana realized that this wasn't the time to argue with me and rushed to the switch. Meanwhile, I pressed the pause button. I heard footsteps in the other room and saw a flashlight flickering under the door. I wonder who decided to sneak into the cybernetics club at night. They are not here. It was the voice of Olga. You did not check in the second room? Okay, I mean, we already established that Olga is not a detective. Soon the front door slammed shut, and I sighed with relief. See that? Again, that's because of you. What? Uljana stared at me in surprise. Why else would she come here at night? She's definitely searching for us. Alisa likely doesn't care about your absence, but I'm registered at the camp leader's cabin. She thought for a while. Well, so what? So what? Why are you constantly looking for trouble? It's almost as if you like it. It's more fun this way. It is fun when you are constantly scolded and punished. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. She laughed merrily. Eventually, there are also rules. Well, up until now you have evaded serious consequences, but who knows what would happen next? It could all end badly. You grumble like a granny, she said, offended. And who said recently that I could not be called an adult? Forget it, let's finish the movie. I decided not to argue with her. In the end, we are already on Olga's list, and an hour later, an hour earlier. Does it really matter? Oh, I didn't even realize that Semyon raised his fists. Is he fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger? At each scary scene, Uljana jumped, screamed, and grabbed me by the hand. It was not so keen on the film, but still pretending that I was also interested. Apart from the evil robot, there was a good man sent from the future to prevent his evil deeds. This is what's it called? Terminator, isn't it? I've never seen Terminator, to be honest. But I guess it's Terminator. Maybe I'm not here with the goal of becoming a ruthless killing machine, but on the contrary, to change or prevent something. Or maybe to change yourself, my friend, that's probably it. To prevent some event, for example, or to stop someone from some wrongdoing. The analogy is fairly interesting, but it is not based on any real facts. I don't have a shotgun in my hands, I'm not wearing a leather jacket, and I haven't got a motorcycle to ride. I don't even have sunglasses. Look, look! The next chase with shooting and the destruction of various types of wheeled and propellered vehicles was unfolding on a screen. Do you think the good guy will win? Of course I knew the answer. Obviously, good always triumphs, she said seriously. If we consider that Uljana often succeeded in her silly ventures, the meaning of the word good gets seriously twisted. Wait, but you've already watched it. Yeah, I just wanted to know your opinion. Soon the film came to an end. During the final scenes, Uljana ran around the room, trying to get a better view of everything happening on the screen without missing anything. I bet running around the room helps that. Ha! She gasped with relief when the ending credits started. Liked it? You need to ask, of course. That's good. And I can see you didn't really. She squinted slyly. Well, it's a film for kids after all. Terminator's a film for kids. Really? Well, yeah, so what? Nothing. She yawned and sat on the floor with her back against a pile of boxes. It's probably time to go to sleep. I'm tired, and I won't go anywhere. As you wish. I'd better go then. Hey, wait! Uljana immediately jumped up and grabbed me by the hand. You'll leave me here all alone? Well, if you want, should I carry you to your cabin? I said uncertainly. In the end, I was already experienced at that. No, I want to sleep here. She rummaged in the box next to her and pulled out some sort of blankets and pillows. Again, the same story. I sighed. Just think. Olga's already looking for us, and if we spend all night here... Well, firstly, she's looking for you. That has nothing to do with me, laughed Uljana. Even if that is so, then you'll be caught too. What makes you say that? And even if I do get caught, that's okay. I'm used to it. Why are you so stubborn? It's only a couple of 100 meters to your cabin. As well as that, you couldn't say that Uljana was completely exhausted. I'm so tired. She wrapped herself in a blanket, turned away from me, and began to diligently fake loud snores. Okay then. See you tomorrow. I tried to leave, but Uljana grabbed my hand again. Well, now what? She didn't say anything. She looked as if I'd scared her. Right then, what should I do was completely unclear. Our little cassette adventure was idiotic from the beginning, but now it was beyond my comprehension. I had no idea what the logic behind her actions was, what the meaning and motivation was. However, despite all this, I couldn't firmly say no. Something stopped me. Maybe a sense of duty, or pity, or the patience which must be shown when communicating with children, or Uljana's teaching him how to be a child. Okay, what do you want from me? Go to sleep with me. Seems like I've seen it somewhere already. Well, let's assume. I turned off the light and nestled beside her. Of course. Good thing it was summertime, otherwise sleeping on the wooden floor would not be the best idea. The lack of a mattress is not even worth mentioning. Why did you agree so easily? I could hear resentment in her voice. You asked, so I did. In fact, I was completely convinced that Uljana will fall asleep quickly, as always, and I will carry her to her cabin. Basically, it's a good plan, despite the fact that I will again serve as a beast of burden. No, basically, it's a bad plan, probably. Hey, talk to me. Just sleep. You are the one who wanted to. Just talk. About what? Tell me something interesting about yourself. Funny stories from your life. My life is not that action-packed. Nothing to recall at all? Even if I had something, telling her was not the best idea. Nothing at all. It can't be that bad. I turned to Uljana. She was lying with her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. It can. Trust me. But that's so boring. From time to time. She was silent for a while, and then smiled and said, But here you had fun. Oh, that is true. I laughed. Will you remember this camp? First I need to get out of here. Of course I will. And the others? I will. And me? And you. I said it with an absolutely even tone. And, to be honest, without really thinking about the meaning of her questions. And I will? And I will, whispered Uljana. Immediately I felt her head dropping on my chest and her hand wrapping around my neck. Comfortable? Yeah, she murmured. You haven't found a better place? She shook her head slightly. Well, let her lie like that. In the end, maybe maybe she will sleep faster. There we go. Probably no more than 5 minutes passed before I decided to check on her and lightly tugged on her shoulder. What? She asked without looking up. I noticed an unusual note in her voice. Why aren't you sleeping? Look who's talking. Time was passing treacherously slowly. I decided to wait at least another 10 minutes before the next time I checked. But the seconds seemed to be hours. My eyes began to slowly close. I struggled to stay awake. I blinked for a moment and woke up, only to realize that my state was close to unconsciousness. Maybe just close your eyes for a minute. What's so terrible about that? The thought flashed through my head, and immediately I drifted off. Day 7. Oh, he slept the whole night. Ah. So there was only one decision? Or maybe there will be a decision on day 7 this time. There wasn't with Slavia, was? No, both decisions were on day 6, right? I think so. There are probably worse things in life than falling asleep while being cuddled by a little girl. And now the door opens and armed men leap towards us. I can't make out what they're screaming, but their intentions are clear far from good. No, I'm not scared at all. Rather, I'm embarrassed, or even ashamed. When I opened my eyes, it took me some time to realize where exactly I was. It was dark in here. Only a dim light was gleaming under the door. Why do they make storage rooms without windows? I was already wondering. That can't be true with the armed men, so he was dreaming. Okay. Although, obviously, that is the way it should be. But why on earth would anyone bring a TV set and a VCR in here then? I cursed the architects of this building in my mind and shook Uljana by her shoulders. Come on, get up now. She stretched, and as we were lying together, I could see her sleepy eyes even in the dark. What? Let me sleep. Uljana tried to turn away, but I firmly grabbed her shoulder with my hand. I don't know what time it is, but regardless, it would be smart for us to get out of here. Not now, later, she whispered, half asleep. I said wake up, come on. I jumped up and easily pulled her to her feet. Ugh, moaned Uljana with frustration in her voice. I started to look for the light switch, but then suddenly heard footsteps outside the door. My heart sank. Why so early? We have a truckload of work to do, no time to waste. You know that we have to do it all before the departure. Alright, fine. It looks like our 2 amped up cybernetics are paying a visit to the clubhouse before the break of dawn today. Shush! I whispered to Uljana. And what's that? She didn't manage to finish her sentence as I silenced her with my hand. Well, I understand all that, but we might at least have waited until after breakfast. Oh, do you have something else to do? Not really. I heard some hesitation in Electronic's voice. Sure, you don't want to head off to the library bright and early again? Hadn't the slightest intention. Poor Electronic. He replied fretfully. Oh yeah, sure, if you say so. Soon the work kicked off behind the door. I could hear hammer strikes, machines rattling, and Electronics buzzing. Electronic and Shurik were discussing their own matters, so I wasn't paying much attention. I was more interested in knowing when they'll finally leave the building. Rather soon, breakfast time is coming. But if we take Shurik's passion into consideration... Let go of me! Uljana finally wrestled her way out, but didn't raise her voice after all. Why can't we just leave? She asked under her breath. And what do you think? It's all fine? Well, what's the problem? Well, we spent the whole night here together. And it's obvious what they would assume, considering I had taken the precaution of closing the door. So? What do you mean, so? I tiredly sighed. Just trust me. I know that it doesn't matter to you, but it does to me. Okay, fine, we'll keep hiding here, agreed Uljana resentfully. I was prepared to wait for a long time if necessary, but barely a couple of minutes later the front door opened and somebody came in. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Morning. It was Slavia. I just wanted to ask if you happen to have any sticky tape. We do, somewhere, replied Shurik thoughtfully. Take a look in the back room. These words gave me goosebumps, and I grabbed the door handle in a stranglehold. Slavia approached... This is, of course, the only thing you can do in that situation. Slavia approached the door from the opposite side and tried to pull it open, but I was straining against the door with all my strength. It's locked. It can't be. We never locked that room. Let me try. Oh god. Shurik yanked the door handle, but nothing happened, although it took a lot of effort for me to hold it steady. Oh, it's stuck. Give me your hand here. In a few moments, they were trying to open the door together with the electronic. I grasped the handle as if my whole life was depending on it, but regardless, this was a short struggle. My hectic hands quickly gave out and I let go. The door slammed open and the bright sunlight blinded me, so I couldn't see the startled faces of Shurik, Electronic and Slavia for the first few seconds. Good morning. Morning. Uljana was standing behind me so that I couldn't see her, but I could feel the embarrassment in her voice. And what are you doing here? Asked Shurik almost as if he wasn't surprised. Well, to tell you the truth, we were watching a movie. Uljana brought a tape and you have a VCR here. Shurik distrustfully stared into the depths of the back room. I gave Uljana a nudge in the side until she got the message and displayed the tape. And what's that movie? A barely visible grin crossed Electronic's face. At least Electronic is thinking the same thing as I do. You're my new hero, my friend. Just a regular film, a thriller. Latest thriller. Then I imagined what he and the others were thinking right now, and I was overwhelmed with rage. If you think we... Nothing like that. First of all, I save. But, you know, I can't imagine that it's all her fault. Could be right. That is all my fault, of course. Nobody's accusing you of anything, said Slavia without looking at me. At least there's one sensible person among all present here. Yet, she added under her breath. What? Everything was exactly as he told you. Uljana joined the conversation. We were just watching a film and then felt sleepy. It was so late. We didn't think anything. Just a stupid situation. Come on, enough. Electronic tried to put it off with a jest. I think Olga will be the judge here. Come on, Slavia. Don't be a dick. I thought you were wise, Slavia, in this playthrough, not Dick Slavia. Slavia said in a cool voice. Hey, wait! Why take this to the camp leader? Who else? But you see, we're telling the truth. I'm not the one to judge. Damn it, then who? You have seen everything with your own eyes. That's for the camp leader to decide. Slavia said quietly and turned to go. Just wait! I appeared before the door in a single bound and blocked her way. Listen, this is none of my business. Slavia was trying to avoid my gaze. It seems like she's also uncomfortable about this situation. I'm just obligated to... Whom are you obligated to? Why do you need to do this? Because... She was unable to find the words to finish. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to tell anyone anything. No, she said nervously, but then raised her head and gave me an intense gaze. I'm sorry, Semyon. Just let her leave her. Just leave her. Let her go. I turned my head to Uljana. This fraction of a second was enough for Slavia to slip out of the clubhouse. You're like for real? Who gives a shit, Semyon? Wait, just wait! I yelled at her as she ran, but it had no effect. Pursuing Slavia in a futile attempt to prevent her from going to the camp leader made no sense. If she intends to, I can't exactly tie her up. She can't prove anything anyway. Uljana chuckled. Who cares whether she can prove anything or not? Don't you understand your position on all of this? In any situation you're involved in, your guilt is a foregone conclusion. Moreover, in a case like this. Well, we are responsible together then. Exactly, you're responsible for what you do, Semyon. That's life, you know. She smirked trickily. Exactly. I left the building and sat on the stairs. Well, we will be on your side, just in case. Right, Sharik? I think so. I don't clearly understand what happened here, but presumably nothing that worrying. Okay, we are going to breakfast. Soon we lost sight of them. Let's go and eat as well, Uljana said cheerfully. Food is all you think about? Why bother crying? What will it change? She was right about that at least. We just have to wait for the camp leader's decision. Let's just go. We headed to the canteen. All the camp had gathered for breakfast, except Olga and Slavia. It might be for the best, I guess. What are you thinking about? Uljana asked me cheerfully when we took our food and sat. The same thing. Come on, stop worrying about nothing. Maybe it's nothing for you. Well, really, what was particularly bad about that? Every situation can be interpreted from different angles, and especially if you have a reason. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? You know our camp leader, she's a bit eccentric. Well, maybe so, but we didn't do anything like that. Anything at all. I hope she believes that too. My relationship with Uljana had improved dramatically lately. At first I only saw her as a naughty, ill-mannered child, but now I start to see the good sides of her character. Although there weren't too many. But now, just when everything was starting to work out, I had a conversation with the camp leader loomed ahead. Maybe I just dreamt everything that happened, and Slavia's reaction this morning was just caused by surprise. Not looking like it, Enjoying your meal? Olga was hanging over me. She looked at me menacingly. Yes? Would you mind explaining your behavior? Mind explaining what? Well, for example, how you happened to be in the Cybernetics Club utility room. Where did you get the key? What were you even doing there? I recalled the circumstances in which I obtained the cursed key. I should speak to Electronic about that. If Slavia told you our version... We were watching a film, Uljana claimed seriously. The whole night? The camp leader asked sarcastically. I just fell asleep and Semyon stayed with me. And so there was no chance for you to go to your cabins? Not even a tiny one. And what are you going to say? Well, it sounds really stupid. What are you going to say? Well, it sounds really stupid, but she is right. You expect me to believe that? Well, it is the truth. I can't really accuse you of anything. The camp leader started slowly. But on the other hand, this entire situation is beyond normal. Pioneers must not behave this way. And there are too many inconsistencies in your story. We get it. I agreed fatalistically. I will do the following. Uljana, you are in detention. You will be confined to your cabin, and I will decide what to do with you later. I looked at Uljana attentively. Contrary to my expectations, she didn't look upset. Clearly, I do not think this is your fault, but to be fair... Great, you know where to find me in case you need me. Great, it's not... But it's Semyon's fault? That's a bit unfair. She stood up and instantly headed to the exit. Olga didn't try to stop her. There's almost too much trouble with her. And she got you into all this. I don't really get what she got me into. And you seem to be too harsh on her. Show me another pioneer like her. The camp leader laughed. When she receives detentions for misbehaving, that is another story, but here? Actually, I don't really understand what was going on, but my duty is to look after your moral character. And this situation is suspicious. Highly suspicious. And how long are you going to keep her imprisoned? I don't know. Olga pondered for some time. Today is the departure. But in these circumstances... What? What departure? Didn't you learn this by now? Semyon. I jumped up at the word. The term is ending today. This is the last day. What? It was the only response I could squeeze out. The last day, meaning I'll finally be able to leave this damn camp. Maybe it's time for my suffering to end, and I'll get back to my ordinary reality. But why so suddenly? Sudden for who? I talked about it in the lineup. She has a point. At the lineups I was usually sleeping or looking around, and didn't really listen to the announcements. And at what time? At about 5 o'clock. Don't forget to get ready. I hardly have anything to pack. She stood up, took a tray, and was going to leave. So what's going to happen to Uljana? I don't know yet, I told you. She will probably leave later. How's that? Not with everyone? Oh well, yes. Is that normal? I was truly surprised. What's wrong with it? I don't know about wrong, but it's quite strange for sure. And indeed it is. Well, I still have work to do. So, we go save her or something? We kinda owe her. We kinda owe her for being a dick all the time. Semyon, we do that. Listen to me, buddy. I tried to make my brain communicate with yours. We're going to help Uljana. I dug aimlessly at my porridge, which had gone long ago. Cold long ago. Departure, the possibility of getting out of here. But on the other hand, Uljana. I myself felt guilt before her. In the end, she was penalized while I, at the same time, wasn't. That is not fair. No, it's not like I wanted to share her misery, but I don't think that it is fair that she sits there locked up. Well, there is still some time before leaving. It should be quite enough to make the situation clear. First, I decided to talk with Slavia. I hope she has calmed down. I'd gotten used to finding Slavia at the square, so I went there without any doubts. Why exactly there? Because in this camp I predominantly met her there. But there wasn't a single soul near Gender's Haven. I stood there for a while, looking at the monument, then headed to the library. Went to the library. Maybe at her cabin, you fool? They depart today. Maybe she's packing. It makes sense that Genia could know where her neighbor is right now. Oh, okay. I take everything back. That actually makes sense. After knocking at the door, recalling my previous experience, this was not a useless mannerism, I went in. Genia was distracted herself from her book and looked closely at me. What do you want? What's wrong? Why do you react like that? You can't even come in? What, you came here for no reason? I doubt you wanted to read something. Well, no. The classics of Marxist Leninism weren't my favorite literature. I wanted to know where Slavia is. Why do you want to know? She said that as if she was sure that the conversation is over, and thus she proceeded with her reading. Well, since I'm asking, clearly I need to know. Should be on the pier. Genia answered indifferently. Thanks. Learning what I wanted to know, I hurried out of the stronghold of malice. Yes, Genia has a tough spirit. At least I have issues understanding her. On the pier, some pioneers were pulling boats into docks, while others were running around with oars or ropes. After looking closely, I noticed Slavia, who sat quite far away, near the water. Cleaning up? I asked the most neutral question that came to my mind. Yep, she answered without turning. Listen, I want to talk about Uljana? Well, yeah. Honestly speaking, I had no idea what to talk about. Slavia found us in the storage room, got it wrong, and told everything to the camp leader. Now it's not her concern anymore, if you think about it. On the other hand, it would be a waste of time to talk to Olga now. Maybe I just subconsciously wanted to understand Slavia's reasoning, to be able to absolve her somehow. Yeah, that was a kind of a dick move of her, I have to say. So what did you want to say? Well, Uljana got punished. Maybe she won't even leave with us. No wonder. I just wanted to explain to you that nothing special happened there. Frankly speaking, I don't know. I just had to report everything. So you did. Did it leave anyone better off? I mumbled to myself. Of course, I'm not sure that it was right, she said confusedly. Well, what's done is done. Do you think it's possible to get Uljana freed from house arrest? You're worrying about her so much. Slavia finally looked at me and smiled. Not about her, about justice. While I was a bit confused, I found the right answer. Well, you know our camp leader. I do, that is for sure. Just wait, she'll calm down eventually. Yes, I guess this was the best decision. True. Yes, you're right. I stood near her in silence for some time. Slavia didn't seem eager to keep on talking. Still, there was some sense of incompleteness, but faced with the idea of this uncomfortable situation lasting for several hours, I decided not to be a burden. Okay, I'll go then. See you. She smiled.